Okay, the screen says we are live. We are live for another episode of Remodelers on the Rise. And I have my friend and client, Jason Carmack with Vision Construction. Jason, tell the millions hello.
Hello, guys. How y'all doing?
They are doing well. If you could put in the comments, people, let Jason know how you guys are doing. And it was funny, Jason, because right before we clicked live, you're like, so this is just like a recording, and then you put it out a few days later, and I'm like, no, we are live. People will be watching us right here and now. And I know actually the way that we connected, a year and a half ago, I think you'd been listening to my podcast and whatnot, and we kind of connected through that. We've been working together on kind of a variety of coaching, a lot around the overall marketing plan, a lot around the sales process, which is part of what we're going to be talking about today, looking into financials. And I will share this. Jason humbly said, "Why are you asking me to be on here?" You asked that, didn't you?
I did.
Why did you ask that?
And you're working with a lot of great teams out there, man. And I'm just wondering why, while I was chosen, and what you seen in me and our company. So I was
There you have it.
curious.
And what I said was, one, I just enjoy being with you. Two, you're a good-looking dude. So as people are scrolling, it's true. As people are scrolling through, they'll be like, "Well, who's that good-looking dude?" And that gets people to stop. So there's method to the madness there. But more importantly than either one of those is that you have embraced some concepts when it comes to embracing your process, and this is how we work, of how you're qualifying leads that are coming through your website. And I think you're doing it in a clear but powerful way. And so when Bailey and I were brainstorming, who should we have as guests, you came to mind because there's a lot of little things that you're doing that are working really well. So that's what we're going to dig into today. I'm going to click this. I'm going to click this. And I'm going to click off that so people can see my face as well. And Jason, tell people where you're located and what's something people don't know about you, and then we'll get
Oh
into this.
man,
What do you got?
as you like to say a lot, man, we're in the Natty.
The Natty.
So we, the tri-state area of Cincinnati, Ohio. We just moved our offices. We are riverfront, right on the Ohio River. Excited to be in a new location so we can grow our business even more and do some pretty neat things in the treehouse and custom home building world here soon.
That's a story for another day.
That
I
is
have
a story
a
for another
sneaky
day.
feeling a year from now we're going to be doing another one of these, and it's going to be on the theme of, hey, have you thought about using your skills as a remodeler to do some fun stuff?
Amen, man.
Well, if I
Looking
get you
forward
talking
to
about that, I know you won't stop talking about that because you're super
it. Very
passionate about
true.
it and you love it.
Very true.
Yeah, so down in the Cincinnati area. So we're looking at Jason's website, which is builtwithvision.com, builtwithvision.com. Bailey, if you want to put that in the comments, feel free. And what I wanted to start with is just showing the contact us form. Tell people kind of your strategy and your approach on this contact us form.
Absolutely. So, time is everything, right? And, we've just learned over the last, couple of years, especially since meeting you, Kyle, and being coached by you and helping us out, that we've got to protect that time. And one of the things that we knew we wanted to do is we got more people coming to our website that we wanted to try to kind of pre-qualify them in a way, or just give them some information ahead of time, or us get information ahead of time so we can be more prepared to where when we start talking with those individuals from the very, very beginning, we can be very efficient with our time. We can get some information, we can make them feel good, build that know, like, and trust, hopefully immediately, and then kind of proceed through the different steps. And in our case, we've got approximately 3 steps that we do. But this contact form from us has really been a game changer. Now what we're super excited for now, Kyle, is just to build our SEO and just our social media and website presence, so we can continue to get more people to our website, and then eventually lead them right to this page right here.
Awesome. So the first thing that I notice on here is, one, let's get the ball rolling today. One thing I do like is, you're fairly, you're not stuffy. You're a fairly relaxed, kind of brand that you have, and the way that you can communicate. And you guys probably know that I kind of roll that way too. So even just having a little fun of let's get the ball rolling today jumps out at me. But this first part of important, before contacting us for an estimate, please confirm the following. You viewed our pricing guide. You are in our service area. You want the services we provide. And we mentioned before we started the recording, there's a fourth one you're going to add, which is you've reviewed the Our Process page. So even that is leading people and making sure that it's not just contact us, but they've actually looked through some things. It's a simple thing, but what a great thing to consider adding to whoever's watching this, adding to your contact page. And we'll go into those here shortly. Down here, pretty straightforward contact information. We got the, what are you interested in, the type of project. We capture how they heard about us, which is great. Got a little, what is your budget field? It's not required, but it's there. How often do people fill that out?
I'd say right now it's probably 50-50.
Okay.
Or sometimes when they put some numbers in there or some information there, maybe not sure.
I think it might be good just to look. Sorry, I can't help but coach. A little bit of click here for the how much page, right? Might be good to put that right there. I like this one, approximate start date. Again, part of the strategy behind this contact form is to help qualify leads. Time is of the essence. We need to weed through all of the different leads that we have to make sure that we've got focus time on the best leads. And this can be a way that you can kind of qualify when you call back, when would be a good time to give you a call, which is great. Additional notes. And then also they can upload any photos or plans. How often does that happen?
Almost always, believe it or not. Sometimes we'll get some of the older folks that just aren't hip to the technology. But yeah, almost always. And in fact, another one of the things we got to get with our website designer on soon is that people are eager to give multiple photos, especially if it's a bigger addition type project or maybe a whole house remodel. So we need to get to the point where we can actually add more pictures on there, because a lot of times people are having to come in multiple times.
Good. So I think that's a great best practice. Most of you watching this don't have an opportunity for them to upload it, but just by you getting a little bit of a visual of that bathroom, a little bit of a visual of that kitchen, it helps that initial conversation so very much. So scrolling back up to the top, I want to go through these pages and hear kind of your experience with this, how it's helped you, and then I want to talk about how that initial phone call, how you're handling that and how you're going about that. This is the pricing guide. And this, a little hat tip to our friend Brian Sebring in the Chicagoland area. Brian is very kind to say, hey, if remodelers want to use that, more power to you. So a lot of the format of this is from our friend Brian, but it's just to give you guys an example of this. Estimated kitchen remodel costs. We've got basic, mid, and high. We've got kind of a small, medium, and large. So basic, mid, high as far as their finish goes, small, medium, large as far as the size of the project, and a little bit of description down here. This doesn't encompass every little thing. It doesn't, it's not a perfect summary of all pricing options, but it gives people an idea of where things are going to be starting at. And then right here, tell us about this, Jason.
Yeah. So, videos, man, are powerful. And I'm trying to get my team more and more comfortable these days to just take videos while they're out there on the job sites. But people want to know who they're working with, and I just wanted to try to put something out there. So, when they play that little video, I'm live or whatever on the bottom left-hand side of the screen, and they can just kind of get an idea of just my personality and who I am, and just kind of understand. In this particular case of this video, I answer some of the questions that they might have. I think I'm talking about just a kitchen remodel specifically, but goes back, man, to that big term and phrase you always use, man. I'm just trying to build know, like, and trust with these guys before they ever pick up the phone and call us.
Yeah. And this, my friend, is why I wanted to talk to you, because you're a man of action. This idea came from you being introduced to Loom. So if people are listening and you haven't looked up Loom, Loom, it is an easy way for you to record your screen. You can have your video showing up there, and then when you're done with it, click a button, and all of the uploading and all the technology, it just gives you a nice link. And Jason and I were talking one day, and I said, you're using that Loom, create a Loom video that explains this page and, what it's about. And just like if you were talking to a prospect, so you went through and you did it and you added it on here. And like you said, know, like, and trust. I feel if I'm a prospect, I feel much more comfortable with you, with your company, with what this is, what this page is, because I watched this 3-minute video. So I think that's another, there's a bunch of people, there's a bunch of best practices being shared here. I hope you're taking notes. You think they're taking notes, Jason?
I don't know, man. We haven't got any comments yet, so we'll see.
Oh my, we haven't. What's up with that? There's people watching live too. There's one on the one on YouTube. There's 4 on Remodelers community. We did get a like. At least give us a little, wow, that's good. Ooh, I like that. Maybe even a takeaway so far. Toss in the comments. You heard Jason's voice. He's like, this is live. There's people watching and nobody's even commenting. He's tore up about that. Help him out. All right. So that how much page, I wanted to really share that. The next one here, talk to us about this process page and how you have kind of, then there's another Loom video, folks, about the process. But talk about how you've kind of embraced and gotten really clear with this is how we work in your process.
Yep. This right here, man, has been a game changer for us. It's really helped protect our time. Like I mentioned, I have a rock star individual here in my office. That's my operations manager, where he does a lot of these initial phone calls where he's talking to people in the beginning. But, we wanted to
shout out to Noah.
Shout out to Noah Anderson. Absolutely. Okay. We wanted to really just try to document, the 3-step process. Like we chatted right before we jumped on here live, I really should be doing a step 1A and a step 1B. I'll explain that here in a minute, but just putting this down on paper and having this as an opportunity for people to read whenever they want, and to make it quote unquote official is good, because when we go through the process and we're talking with them on the phone and we spell out everything, we always end up saying, and this is all online. This is all online for you to see. We kind of lay it out there as far as our different steps and what the expectations are. So people aren't like, oh man, is this, am I a unique client here and this guy's treating me differently? No, this no different than our how much page is. We're not shy of our cost. We're very confident in our process, and we don't mind putting it out there for the world to see. So again, we can maybe try to do some pre-qualifying before they even pick up the phone to call us. But yeah, this 3-step process has been huge, because in the end, once they get to step 3, we also want them to know, hey, look, guys, we respect your time.
Should I answer my phone? My wife knows it's time for Remodelers on the Rise.
You better answer that phone, man.
Nope. I'm a professional. I'm not going to interrupt this live show.
Well, don't blame it on me.
If she calls 3 times, we'll answer it and we'll put her on speakerphone and we'll see what's going on.
Agree. It's all good. But yeah, once they get to step 3, there's a fee involved. We respect our time. We want them to know that our time is valuable and appreciated, and we don't want them to be shocked once they know that, hey, look, once we go in design and project development, we got to know that you've got a little bit of skin in the game at that point.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a surprise. The charging for design and project development, which a lot of you are either doing, dabbling with, or embracing, or want to do, it, part of the fallacy in it, or where it doesn't work, is when it's kind of surprising people. But when we spell it out very clearly, like you're articulating here, and hey, step 1 is free. Step number 2, here's kind of what we're going to do, and there's no cost for that. And then step 3, when we get into the design and estimate, here's how it works. 1 to 2% of the project guesstimate range with minimum of this. Boom, boom, boom. It's just very clear how they walk from step to step. And I think we need to also realize the power in repetition. I'm reading it on your website. I'm told to review it before I fill out the contact form. When I get on the phone with you, hey, let me walk you through our process. We're in step 1. Did you see that on the website? There's 3 steps. Great. Yeah, we're at step 1, and kind of here's what that is. And then as that meeting goes on, that phone call goes on, you're going to mention what step 2 is and step 3 is. I like how you just have 3 steps. It makes it very easy to explain it and articulate it. Okay, cool. So with the contact forms that you have been getting through, a lot of qualifying that are just happening just by seeing that, and then talk about what else you do on that initial phone call, or what some of your goals are during that.
Again, we want to try to get folks through.
Hang on.
Another phone call.
We got a comment.
I
really like the idea of videos explaining pages. Now, we don't know who that is. If you go to StreamYard.com/. Facebook, you can click a button to allow your face to show up. But yes, Loom, Loom. Get on there, record it. You do the work of recording that, of building up the value of that, of explaining it clearly, and you do that one time, and it's just different. Also, it is different. It is unique, etc.
On that note, man, I will have to say something. I need to get up on the website here, or not actually up on the website, but prepared. I can't remember, man, if this was from you or a good friend Spencer of a Builder Funnel, but he had mentioned, or you had mentioned, that just a short little Loom video that we send out right before we would go to the step 2 meeting. Again, allowing them to see my face, maybe to see Noah's face, to hear our voices, to kind of get to know us a little bit, but just something quick and easy. Hey, appreciate you guys reaching out to Visit Construction. Super excited about meeting you guys here in a couple days to look at your home and just discuss things. And then, so not only will they get that, but then as soon as that step 2 meeting is over, another quick video, because the first one can be generalized. It doesn't have to be specific to that person, mention any names, but after that step 2 meeting, then create another 30 to 60-second video. Say, hey guys, great meeting you guys the other day. You know, really excited about the ideas that we shared when we were out at your home. I'm looking forward to getting with our suppliers and getting you guys sit down with them and getting through, you know, starting this journey of the step 3. You know, I think that would be a great additional video that we absolutely
and it's quick and it's personalized. You know, and yes, it leans towards build, know, like, and trust. And another thing that, even if people are listening carefully and that I want to draw out, one of the things that I know about you is you're just a passion. That's kind of why I like it, because we're similar. Just a passionate guy. Like we're just kind of naturally excited. Although I'm not very excited about. Now I'm getting texts related to the phone call. It's because I kind of dropped the ball on a couple things. And she's like, "So did you do this? Do you need me to do this?" It's okay. Things happen. Man. Things happen in life.
We'll make it up more later.
We'll figure it out. But you know, even that video after the fact of being able to explain, you know, hearing that you're excited about their project, man, it was so great to meet you guys. We're super excited about the opportunity here. That matters. That absolutely matters. Good.
It's the little things, man. Really, those little things that really add up. Makes you different. Makes you different than everybody else.
If you look, talk, and act the same as everybody else, you're going to compete on price. There's no other points of difference. And then that what you're hitting at there is, you know, running a successful remodeling business is about, it's not some magic bullet. Oh, I just do this thing and everything's going to be perfect. It's a combination of a lot of little things. And what we're looking at and talking about here is some of those little things.
Yep, absolutely.
Good. It's probably even faster to record. So this is, now Bailey, you got to click Bailey instead of the Remodel Your Marketing page. But it's even faster to record a personalized video than to send a personalized email. It's very true. That's the secret of Loom. Like, the reason I love it is it's more effective and it's quicker. It actually saves time. I have been using Loom quite a bit lately and always get great feedback from clients. Excellent. Awesome. So talk a little bit more about that initial phone call.
Yep. Yeah. So once we get that initial phone call, we're trying to pull some information out of the client. We're not trying to have some lengthy hour phone call in either initial phone calls, but we kind of have a step 1A and a step 1B to where when we get that phone call, if they don't know anything else about us, if they haven't sent us pictures yet on the contact us form, we need that. We need that information. So we put a little homework right back in their lap. We're kind of engaging them to see, how much are you interested in us? You know, you want some of these things for us for free. We need to evaluate you and say, are you willing to at least give us some of this information to be able to provide some of these initial services to you for free? So we ask for pictures, maybe some room measurements, you know, things like that. Once we get that back, if we even do get it back.
Pause there though. So I want everybody to hear that very clearly. Some of what you just said was kind of your strategy, not something that you actually say to the client, right? But the main thing there is, this sounds like a good project. It sounds like a type of project that, you know, that we do. Could I ask you a favor? Could you guys, as a next step, could you guys actually take a few photos, even maybe if you've got the ability to record a quick video and either email it to me or send it via text? That's fine as well. But could you send that stuff back? Let me kind of see your project and understand a little bit more, and then we'll get back on the phone and talk a little bit further and see if it both makes sense for us to move on to the in-person meeting. That's kind of how you position that, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Okay. Yep. Because, you know, there's some of the times we won't even get a call back from them. And it's like, okay, that's fine. No harm, no foul. We've just cross that person off the list, and they're just we're not a good fit for them, or maybe we've decided too that they're not a good fit for
Yeah.
us.
So that's part of the strategy of it, especially if it's feeling if it's one of those leads that are kind of like, I don't love what I'm hearing. They're getting other bids, this and that. It's a nice tool to pull out. They can keep a project moving forward. And yes, sometimes they disappear off of that. That tells you what you needed to know. You just saved yourself time. But
Yep.
the big strategy there is to kick it back into their court. Not any additional work on your front. And look, it's a strategy. Some people at that point, their approach, Paul McManus talks about this, he charges $145 to do an in-person visit. That's a stinking qualifier, right? It's a
Yep.
different type of qualifier. And what we're talking about is what you're doing is a qualifier. When you kick it back to me and I need to send over and give me some homework, give me something to do, if I don't do it, your hunch that I wasn't a good lead just got confirmed. But
Absolutely.
if I do it, now you're getting some visuals, you're seeing it, you're getting more excited about their project, and it's making it much easier for you to move on to step number 2, which is the in-person meeting.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, before we go to that step number 2, on step 1B, once they've given us those pictures and that additional information, and again, even depending upon how fast they get us that information back, that's a big cue for us. How excited are they? How engaged are they? So once we get the information back, then we sit down, and before we call them back, Noah or myself, we will actually look at their project, look at their scope, and we'll try to compare it against maybe another project, and we'll try to have some ranges in our head of what we think that's going to be. Because when we call them back and we engage in that 15-20 minute conversation, we share those ranges with them. Here's our initial thought of where you would be at. So then we can see, are we even on the same page? Are we speaking the same language, as we like to say? Because if we're not, then there's no sense of even setting up a step number 2 meeting. Because I am not going to jump in my car and drive 60 minutes across the other side of Cincinnati to meet with someone
Oh,
if
that
they've got
bridge. That
yeah, oh
bridge.
yeah, yeah. Especially now it's closed down. But for us to invest that kind of time, I need to make sure that these guys are a right fit. Somebody calls me and, hey, I've been really thinking about doing my kitchen for about a year now, and I have about 20 grand, 25 grand saved up to do it. What's your guys' thoughts? I might not be able to buy the cabinets for 20 grand. So it's like we're not on the same page. We're not talking the same language. So we just need to make sure that we educate them. And sometimes folks can have an unrealistic budget, but when you take the time to educate them, well, here's why the costs are that expensive, and just walk them through and just invest that time and make them feel like you care about them and you care about their project, but you also need to let them know what's
Right.
reality. So yeah, we're
And I think
trying our best
right.
to
And I think some
pre-qualify.
Yeah, and I think some people think, well, the only way I can provide value, the only way I cannot be a jerk is to invest the time to go out to their home and meet with them and give them ideas and whatnot. And that's very kind. That's very kind. But that comes at an expense. That comes at an expense of hours that are not being put towards design and development of projects you have going. That comes at the expense of you having time to job cost. That comes at the expense of you lining up that project that's starting next week and getting everything lined up and having a pre-construction meeting. Like, there's consequences to not having a clear approach to qualifying leads. And the nice thing is that you can approach this initial call and you're hearing several ways. Getting very clear on your website, giving them the how much, making your process very clear, reviewing photos and videos of their projects. There's so many ways that you can have that clear conversation about budget. And if their jaw hits the floor in shock, you don't hang up. You do what you just said. I just go into education mode and I teach them. And it might not go anywhere, but I can feel good that I serve this person.
Yep.
And then sometimes that turns into, wow, we just had no idea. But it's still, we could work with that, and that makes sense, and maybe it does move on. Protecting that time is, and that line between I don't want to be a jerk and make people think I'm putting them off, and I don't want to waste my time. Hopefully, what you're hearing on this training is on this Remodelers on the Rise Live is that way to weave through that effectively.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
What else do people need to know about this this process, or anything else that is on your mind? We're in the final 5 minutes of the show. Does anybody have any questions? Type those in. And then, Jason, what else would you want to add or emphasize about this?
Look, man, if you're in the remodeling business these days, you're a unique individual, especially these days, post COVID, because we're all probably pretty busy. So this is probably your passion. This is what you enjoy doing. don't get discouraged by thinking you are spending, you have to spend so much time with every single lead, to kind of get anywhere. Put the time in to set the systems up, invest that time initially to protect your time. The leads are going to still keep coming. The jobs are still going to keep coming. I don't know if you're a one-man show, you're a 5-man operation, you're a 20-man operation. You still got to respect everybody's time.
Mm-hmm.
You can give the best value, to your client. So again, setting all this up for Kyle, with your help, man, this has been an absolute game changer for our company. We're not the biggest remodeling company by any means in Cincinnati. We don't want to be the biggest. We just want to be among the best. And this is just a good step for us to kind of head in that direction to prepare ourselves for maybe another 50% growth next year, maybe 100% growth next year. But if we don't have these systems in place and we don't have these things
That growth is going to eat you up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And we want to just be very strategic and wise with our growth. Because, man, I've been there. I've been a part of some past organizations where they're great companies, great teams, but they just grew way too quickly and didn't have the systems in place. And I just refused to let that happen for my company now. And it's like, look, I need to make sure that we got all of our ducks in a row. So invest the time, make sure that you got those systems and things in place. And I can tell you, man, it will pay off in spades in the long run.
Bam. This was better. This was better than I was even hoping for, Jason. I feel like we presented it very clearly with some enthusiasm, and I think there's some good takeaways. I'd be curious if anybody else has any questions or any additional takeaways, whether you're watching this live or on the recording. For those of you watching listening to the recording as part of the podcast, feel free to text me with your takeaway. I love getting those. 517-902-8450. That's my actual cell phone number. Bailey was funny a couple of weeks ago, and she's like, what happens if the podcast really takes off and you're just flooded with texts? I'm like, I'm not too worried about that. What, thousands of remodelers are going to? No, that's not going to happen, Jason. Plus, it'd be
Never
fun.
know, man. Let's have me back in 6 months. We'll start talking about tree houses and all that, and maybe folks will really be intrigued.
Yes. Give the 60-second story of that, what you're up to.
Oh man, who doesn't even just like the term treehouse? Staying in a treehouse, living in a treehouse, playing in a treehouse. So we're everybody's heard of Treehouse Masters and all that on Animal Planet. We're just going to do that same thing here in the Cincinnati area. We hope we're going to be one of the first in the actual Cincinnati area. We're right on the river. It's just going to be a great time for folks to be able to come out. We're going to probably have anywhere from 4 to 7 structures, but probably end up being a bed and breakfast at some point. Boat ramp, boat dock, all that kind of stuff. It's just another branch, like you said, of our business. And we look at each one of these structures as a very unique, kind of small, but it's going to be like a model home of what we can offer. Every one of them will be like an individual model home of our guys' craftsmanship and what they're capable of. Instead of having a $500,000 custom home, we just got several $150,000 model homes. So we're, and who knows, man, we might be the next Cincinnati region tiny home builder or treehouse builder that's taking things by storm.
Yeah, but it's something fun. It's something kind of you're passionate about. It's a kind of side project / kind of ties in with everything else. And I think part of it is like it's just fun. And we need to make sure we have fun in our business and infuse some fun in our business. So I'll be excited to see where that comes from. Cool. Thank you, my friend. Everybody listening. Hope you got some value, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate the opportunity.